Hi, I'm Eric, and today we're here at Waverly Elementary School. We're going to meet one of our colleagues who supports our students every day, but not only our students, she supports their families and staff. She ensures that by building positive relationships and supporting each and every member of the Waverly community, she's able to help this community thrive. Let's go inside and meet her. Today we are here at Waverly Elementary School with Heather Putman, a phenomenal assistant principal. Heather, we know how busy things are in a school, and so we really appreciate you taking a little bit of time to speak with us today. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So, assistant principal, and we're going to talk about that role and what that entails. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about your background. What did you do before you became a school administrator?
So I was a literacy specialist right before becoming an assistant principal, but before that, was a second grade teacher as well as an interventionist.
Wonderful. And you and I have known each other for years, so I know you didn't jump into administration right away. Could you talk about what experiences you had before making that decision, and then why did you decide to become a school administrator?
Sure. So when you're in a small building, so I was at Parkway Elementary, and when you're in a small building, you kind of support the principal in a variety of roles, one of them being task coordinator, certainly admin in charge when that person's not there. So I had opportunities there that kind of led me into thinking, okay, this could be an option for me, as well as just my principal and other people that I worked with said, hey, have you thought about this? You should try this. And so that's really what got me to this place.
So you've been an assistant principal in 3 or 4 different schools, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What are some similarities and differences between serving in those various schools?
Every school does kind of have its own unique culture. I would say there's similarities in the sense of what the role looks like, but day to day might look a little bit different depending on what building you're in. My role this year in opening Waverly for the first year has been a little bit different than what it's looked like in other roles, just because our team, our admin team, is a little bit bigger, and so we have kind of our lanes to stay into as far as supporting families and students.
So since you first became an assistant principal several years later, still serving in that role, what changes have you seen over the years in the service that you provide our students, their families, staff, the principal?
I would say that, certainly going through online learning, virtual learning has been a piece that's kind of changed over time. And I think when we think about just complexities of different schools, that's probably driven more of the changes that I've seen. I think too, with my experience and then just, building that experience with different families, understanding resources that are out there, that's helped change it as well.
Okay. So of all the roles that you've served in since being an educator, which one have you enjoyed the most?
I've enjoyed each of them, but for different reasons. So I enjoy this role. I enjoy helping students and families and staff, but I also miss the part of being an educator and being in the classroom with students every day. When I get to go back in, I enjoy it. Give me a read aloud any day, right? I also enjoy the literacy specialist role too, because I also had a little bit of the helping teachers, but then also helping students. And so that was a mix between the two.
Thank you for sharing that. And it's interesting to ask that questions because we often think, oh, you become an administrator. It's a great role, especially if you started off as a teacher, but it's all those roles that inform what you do as an assistant principal or as a principal, right? Mm-hmm. So what would you say is the biggest role of an assistant principal?
The biggest role? Oh, there's so many. I think one of the pieces, and right now in the time of year we are in, being a task coordinator is one of them. But I think the day-to-day responsibilities is it's the flexibility of being able to handle what comes your way. So there might be student concerns that we have to address immediately. There might be parents who want to meet with you and kind of talk about just anything in general. It could be how their students performing. It could be a meeting with the teacher. This year I'm in a lot of IEP meetings, so that's the team that I'm supporting directly. And so that right now is one of the biggest responsibilities that I have, working with the special education team, the teachers, and then the families, and looking at, you know, what's appropriate as far as how the students are performing, the progress they're making, and then what can I do to support them.
So then the other aspect of your role is supporting staff. And so what does that look like on a day-to-day basis for you as an assistant principal?
Certainly formal observations. So we, you know, have a schedule, and, you know, our admin team shares out who's going to go and observe. We typically meet with teachers beforehand. They tell us what area they would like for us to come and observe. We kind of talk through that, if there's specific feedback they're looking for. And then an observation, and then certainly a write-up, and then a post-conference. That's probably the biggest piece. We have informal walkthroughs. Sometimes, you know, they don't happen as frequently as we want them to, just because of the nature of all the other responsibilities. And then we also have PL, and then ALP, but we call it our CAP cycle. So we're having meetings with all of the teachers that work on that team, including specialists, to be able to talk about kids, because that's, you know, the basis for all the decisions.
And that's really key for our community members who are watching. Like, what's ALP? Accelerated Learning Process is really a process in which teams come together to speak specifically about children and how they're succeeding, how they're performing in class, and what we can do to better support and help them, and help our teachers to better support and help them. So then my last question related to aspects of the work that you do is the support of the principal. What does that look like as an assistant principal?
It could vary, right? It could be, hey, I got this email, this parent wants a return call, can you call them? Or it could be, this is the part of our school improvement plan, right? So I have special education. So when I think about all of the aspects of where that falls in that school improvement plan, that's my responsibility. And that all in turn helps, you know, our principal be able to do what she does.
Yeah, and when the principal's out, then
we all jump in.
Yeah, you're the designee, right?
Sometimes, it kind of depends.
It's a team effort, especially if you have a larger admin team. Yeah.
It is.
Heather's love for the community in which she serves stands out in the way she supports our students, staff, and families. In my discussions with Heather, she spoke about open communication being key in creating a better environment for all. She's willing and wants to solve any problem there may be, but she needs to know about it first. This starts by building trust with students, staff, and families. And although Heather does not regularly work directly with students one-on-one, she is supporting teachers in creating an environment to reach each and every student. What Heather does on a daily basis is essential to Frederick County Public Schools. So what do you love most about your job?
So it's being able to make the connections with students and families, being able to see something that you have worked to put in place for them and it be successful. So whether it's the smile, good morning, Miss Putnam, or whether it's a teacher's email that says, hey, thank you for letting me meet with you to talk about, you know, X, Y, or Z. Those are the moments that I think are the most enjoyable.
Thank you for sharing that. You know, when I became an assistant principal, somebody was asking me, so what do you think of the role? And I was like, well, it's a wonderful role. It's one of the best opportunities to support an entire school community. But I compared myself to like a leaf in the wind. You could be going in one direction, that's what you had planned for the day, and then you get a call on your walkie or something else happens and you're blowing in a different direction, and sometimes you're all over the place. So it really requires a lot of quick problem-solving skills, remembering your ultimate purpose for being there. And so what would you say is the ultimate purpose? And you've answered this already, but I'm going to ask it a different way. What would you say is the ultimate purpose of assistant principals in FCPS?
Students, they come first. So if what I'm doing is not supporting them, then I have to rethink. And you said it with your why, right? I think all of us got into education because we have that passion to help others, and it starts with kids first, regardless of what age.
Heather, I so appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Yeah, thanks for sharing with us today, and again for giving us your time. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
It was wonderful being able to spend some time with Heather today and speak with her about what she does each and every day, not only to support the principal of Waverly Elementary School, but more importantly to support its students, their families, and staff. Heather, along with assistant principals across FCPS every day, do everything that they can to make sure that our students have everything that they need to ensure that our students are cared for, along with the colleagues that they serve each and every day. They are essential members of the team, and we're so fortunate to have them. Well, everyone, until next time, please continue to take care of yourself, take care of each other, and be well.